Starting off, I throw off the blankets in the bed, and you can see my legs kind of tremble there. That's just normal spasms that happen when I start moving in the morning. It's like a stretched out rubber band that just needs to be bent. I am able to lift up my arms here over my head, and it triggers a spasm to lift up my legs, so that helps me to move in the bed and kind of roll over. I start by rolling to my side and grabbing my pants. I put my pants, my socks, and my shoes just on my wheelchair there. And I was told originally when I started dressing myself to do the hardest leg first, or the hardest part of the body first, and then the second part's a lot easier. Just like everyone else, I put my pants on one leg at a time. It's difficult to not be able to use my fingers just to grab parts of my pants to pull them up. So as you can see here, I am able to wrap my fingers around my belt, and then I just use pressure on my wrists, pushing up on my pants to kind of pull them up. And then I'm able to hook underneath my pants or grab onto my pockets, my belt, whatever, as I slowly pull them up over my knees. I try to wiggle, move my hips around a lot to get my feet to kind of slide out and kick out. And again, using spasms, they're able to do that. And at the same time that I'm causing a spasm in my legs, I'm pulling up my pants at the same time. And then again, I'm going to use this spasm that I figured out to lift up my legs. Again, this is nothing. I'm not doing anything manually with my legs. It's a spasm that I'm triggering that goes up over my head. When I lift my arms up over my head, it makes my legs want to kick up. And then I am able to kind of cross my legs here. I have to cross my legs in order to roll over. Otherwise, my knees get in the way. As you can see here, when I try to roll over and both my legs come up, I can't go anywhere. So I try to roll over. I use my bedside arm grabber thing. And then once I'm on my back, I just kind of pull it up slowly at a time, flip back over. And as you can see here, I try to throw all of my weight to flip myself over and grab that. I push myself up a little bit like that to try to swing over and grab my pants out. Belts are critical for me. That's how I'm able to actually grab stuff and pull them up. I also use the belt loops, but the belts are much better. Once it's over, my pants are up enough, I roll back over onto my back and I pull up my zipper using the zipper pull that I've previously shown you guys in different videos. I put my belt all together and I am ready to sit up and get my socks and shoes on. So again, I use my bedside grabber thing, I don't know what to call it, and I sit myself up. So I pull myself up on my elbow and then kind of just crawl over after I grab my socks and shoes. In sitting up, I scoot kind of on my elbow and I use my hand on the other side of my legs to kind of slowly pull myself over so I don't fall back to one side as I'm scooting over. This is kind of a tricky thing to do. It took me a while to figure out, but it's really useful to be able to balance that way. So I pull up my pant leg and that grabs my foot. If I don't have pants on, I just try to hook underneath my ankle and pull it up. And then I'll grab my sock. And I always start with my right leg first. I'll show you guys why in a little bit. But I get my socks out. I use my teeth a lot with my socks and shoes because I don't have gripping ability, and this is just a lot easier. What I do here is I use my mouth to pull in one of my hands in the sock, and then I use my mouth and that hand to stretch the sock over my foot and pull it up as far as I can. And yes, I am a lot more flexible now than I ever was before. After I get my sock up as much as I can, I hook my thumb in the sock and just pull it up over my heel. That is probably the hardest part of getting my sock on, and it took me a long time to figure out, but I was finally able to do it. Then I use my mouth and my arm to kind of push up against the sock and pull it all the way up as far as it'll go. Shout out to Sloan for all the wonderful camera work. She was amazing. Once my sock is on, I'm ready to put on the shoe. And this side's actually easier than my other side, but again, I'll show you why I do this side first in just a little bit. But getting shoes on can be kind of difficult. I typically wear Vans or a different type of athletic shoe. Vans are really comfortable on my feet, and they're a little bit lower profile, so they don't bug my heel as much, but they can be a little bit tricky to get on. I have to make sure the tongue doesn't fall through. So you can see with my mouth, I just pull the tongue up as far as it'll go, and then I'm able to wrap my hand around the shoe and just kind of pull it up over my foot. It will tuck the tongue a lot, and you can see my mouth, I just pulling up the tongue. You can also see my foot spasming. That happens all the time when I'm putting shoes on. It's because of the way I stretch my foot while I'm putting my shoe on, and it causes that kind of quick bouncy reaction, which is actually called clonus. Once my shoe is on, I just pull my laces as tight as I can and the tongue up as tight as I can, and then I just tuck it into my shoe. I tried tying my shoelaces before, but it's just not even worth it. I can't get a good tie, and it's a lot easier just to tuck them in and go on my way. Once I'm done with that leg and shoe, I flop it over as you saw, and now I've got to try to lift up my other leg. So I hook underneath my knee and my calf area, and I just pull it back, and using my body to kind of fall back, I'm able to lift up my leg and cross it over. Now this leg's always been harder for me, but again, I do this one last, and I'll show you why here in just a couple minutes. I know I've said that like 50 times. Sloan keeps reminding me. If you can hear her in the background, shout out to Sloan. She's awesome. But it will make sense. I know I'm trying to just explain this as I go, but sometimes it doesn't make sense. So if it doesn't, sorry about that. Once it's over and in the right spot, I just follow the same suit. So I will pull up my pant leg, wrap my sock around my hand, and then using my teeth and my hand, I stretch the sock over my foot and pull it up. It might be kind of hard to see, but I actually put my whole hand in the sock. This allows me to get a good enough stretch on my socks to wrap them around my foot, because I kind of got big feet. I use my teeth a lot. I know I mentioned that before, but maybe there's better ways to do this. So if you have any tricks, let me know, because hopefully my teeth will last me for the rest of my life, but you never know how often I use them. Getting the sock over the heel is such a pain, but once it's finally over the heel, it's so much easier to get my sock pulled up the rest of the way. Crazy thing is, Sloan is always asleep next to me, or most of the time asleep next to me while I'm getting dressed, and she doesn't even ever notice me getting ready in the morning. It really is a pain to get my socks and shoes on and the shoes not bunched up in the back. I actually have another pair of shoes that Nike created for disabled people. It looks like a normal shoe, but actually has a zipper strap in the back, and those are really easy to put on. I'll show you what those are and put a link below. All right, now that I'm done with that, I actually just fall back and my leg's up there. And this is why I do that one last, is because it's so much easier to wrap that leg over. And then typically both of my legs will kind of spasm up into this position. But if it doesn't, I'm able just to reach back, hook under my right knee and pull it up. And then this is what I do, is I just hook both under both my knees and try to flop my legs over to the side. And then I use them to slowly sit myself up. It's a lot of a balancing act. And again, it's crazy to me that Sloan doesn't feel any of this when I'm getting up. All right, now that I'm sitting up, I'm ready to move into the chair. So I scoot as far as I can over, and then I'll swing the chair closer to me and lift my foot up on the foot plate. And I put my foot on the foot plate originally because that helps get the chair a little bit closer to where I'm at. Once it's there and it's in a comfortable spot, I just slowly scoot myself over. You can see my legs shaking, just spasms, uncontrollable ones. And boom, I'm in my chair ready for the day. Go team, it's a good time. It's a long time to do all this, but I've actually tried to prioritize my time and use it wisely. So I listen to a lot of podcasts or books while I'm doing this, and I've learned quite a bit while doing it. Thanks for watching, everybody. I had a great time showing you how I get dressed. Hopefully that gives you some tips or tricks that you could try. Thanks for watching again. Remember to like and subscribe. Everything talked about will be linked, as always, below, and hope you have a great day.